Vincent van Gogh. Today, his name is synonymous with genius, but his life was a journey of profound struggle. Join me as we follow his footsteps. Our story begins in 1853 in the Netherlands. As a child, Vincent was quiet, often found wandering alone in fields like these. He preferred the company of trees and clouds over other children, but surprisingly, art wasn't his first calling. His first job was an art dealer. He sold paintings to wealthy clients, but he had a fatal flaw for a salesman. He was too honest. If a customer liked a bad painting, he'd tell them it wasn't good. Naturally, he was fired. Seeking a higher purpose, he turned to religion. He moved to a poor mining town in Belgium to become a preacher. Vincent went too far. He gave away his clothes and slept on the floor to suffer alongside the miners. The church leaders called him too extreme. For the second time in his life, Vincent lost his job. He was lost. But at the age of 27, he made a decision that would change art history forever. He decided to become an artist. He had no formal training. So, he taught himself, practicing for more than 10 hours every single day. His early works were dark and somber, reflecting the harsh lives of the poor people he lived with. Take The Potato Eaters. It shows a family huddled around a table, sharing a humble meal. The atmosphere is heavy. Critics hated it. They called it depressing, but Vincent was just beginning to find his voice. In search of new inspiration, he moved to Paris. It was here that everything changed for him. Paris was alive with light and color. Vincent discovered the Impressionists, and his palette exploded. Brilliant yellows, deep blues, and those wild, energetic brushstrokes we know today were finally born. But Vincent's intensity was often too much for his fellow artists. He needed his own space, his own light. He headed south to Arles. He dreamed of building an artistic community in the sun-drenched countryside. This is where he invited Paul Gauguin to live with him. At first, it was a dream come true. They painted side by side. He painted these sunflowers to decorate Gauguin's room. He was full of hope, full of energy. But two brilliant minds in one small house was a recipe for disaster. Their arguments became violent. On one tragic night, Vincent's mental instability reached a breaking point. He took a razor and cut off his own ear. He wrapped it in paper and gave it to a woman at a local brothel. Even for Arles, this was shocking. Realizing he was a danger to himself, Vincent entered a mental hospital. But strangely, his genius didn't fade. From this very window, he looked at the night sky. He saw something no one else could see. He painted the starry night, swirling waves of light captured forever on canvas. It's a masterpiece of emotion. Modern scientists found that these patterns resemble turbulence in physics. Maybe he wasn't just insane, maybe he saw the world's hidden rhythm. Despite his genius, he remained desperately poor. He relied entirely on his younger brother Theo to survive. In his entire life, only one painting was ever sold, just one, for about 400 francs, a few $100s today. In 1890, at the age of 37, Vincent walked into a field like this with a revolver. He had reached his limit. He shot himself. 2 days later, he died in his brother's arms. His final words? The sadness will last forever. But the story didn't end there. After his death, the world finally woke up. The value of his art exploded. Today, paintings like sunflowers and irises are worth billions. Millions of people stand silently just to catch a glimpse. It leaves us with a question. Is success being recognized while you're alive? Or is it creating something that changes the world forever? Vincent left no wealth, but he changed how we see the sky and color itself. He lived by his own colors. His life was tragic, but his legacy is immortal. Even if the world doesn't understand you, keep painting in your own colors. Thank you for joining this journey. I'm James, and I'll see you in the next story of genius. Goodbye. Vincent's early years in the Netherlands were formative. The quiet fields and brooding skies became his first subjects. He felt a deep connection to the land and its people, a connection that would ground his art for the rest of his life. Working as an art dealer, he saw the commercial side of art, but his soul yearned for something more authentic. He couldn't stand the pretension of the art world. His honesty was his downfall, but also his greatest strength. In the coal mines of Belgium, he saw the darkest side of human existence and felt a deep urge to help. He lived like a pauper to show the miners he was one of them. His commitment was total, but misunderstood. The religious authorities saw his radical empathy as a threat. They dismissed him, leaving him adrift once more. With nothing left to lose, he embraced his true passion. He would paint not for money, but for the soul. Every day was a battle with the canvas. He drew until his fingers bled, driven by an unstoppable inner fire. His early palette was earthy and muted, reflecting the struggle and dignity of the working class. He wanted to capture the truth of their lives, the hard work and the shared humanity in every brushstroke. The world wasn't ready for such raw honesty, but Vincent knew he was onto something profound. Arriving in Paris, he was hit by a wave of modernity. The city was a melting pot of new ideas and styles. He met the giants of Impressionism and saw the power of light. His art began to breathe and glow. The shadows disappeared, replaced by vibrant colors and a sense of movement that was entirely new. But even in the city of lights, he felt like an outsider. He yearned for a simpler, more intense life in the south. The journey to Arles was a journey toward the sun. He was searching for the light that would define his greatest works. He wanted to create a sanctuary for artists, a place where they could share ideas and support one another. His sunflowers were symbols of friendship and joy, a vibrant welcome for his friend Gauguin. But the tension between them grew unbearable. Their artistic visions clashed, leading to a tragic explosion of emotion. In a moment of profound despair, he turned the blade on himself, a physical manifestation of his inner torment. The town was horrified and Vincent was broken. He knew he needed help to face the demons in his mind. In the quiet halls of the asylum, he found a different kind of peace and a new intensity in his painting.